So, streetcar riders get the priority on King. Cyclists now have a permanent lane on Bloor. What do these developments say about a shift in thinking about what's happening in our city? That's one of the questions I put to Judy Farvolden. She's from the U of T's Transportation Research Institute.
I think it says that we've realized we have to try different things, that what we might have called business as usual on King Street just wasn't working for anybody. And so we have to try new things and experiment and see what the outcomes are and learn from those lessons and go on.
We hear the complaints about the war on the car, etc. Why is prioritizing transit, especially on stretches like this, the right thing to do?
Everybody knows the numbers. There are 65,000 transit users on King Street every day and 20,000 cars. Some of those single occupancy vehicles, so if that's 20,000 people in cars and 65,000 people who would like to use transit, we clearly have to do something more for those people on transit.
As we move on and we put the larger emphasis on cycling and walking in public transit, is there a next step in this evolution of what we're doing? Is it too soon? We need to figure this one out first.
I think it's good to go slowly. Change is hard, and you have to bring people with you along the road for that change. So we recently completed the bike lane on Bloor pilot project. There was a lot of design went into that, an analysis of the economic congestion and demand impacts. And then based on all that lesson learned and the data that was provided, Council decided to make it permanent. Here's another big experiment, and I think we'll conduct this one and see how that goes, see what we learn, and take that into figuring out what we can do on other major transit arteries and with other modes of transportation like cycling and walking.
What do we need to see from this pilot project to show that it's working and that it is a success and the right thing to do?
So they'll be looking at a variety of impacts. So we're looking to get to a better place for more people. If the transit ride becomes more reliable and perhaps faster, then more people will choose it. We should see an increase in transit ridership. That would be generally good for congestion and emissions and the planet and getting people around. And then we need to see what the other impacts are on congestion on adjacent streets and economic impacts, if any.
We've had the Bloor Street pilot project. We're doing this one here on King now. Where do we find the balance in all of this? Because, it's hard getting people out of their vehicles. But as we grow in the city, it's clear we need more people on transit and less single drivers in their car by themselves on these thoroughfares.
Yeah, absolutely. Toronto is changing and more people are coming. Toronto is growing. Not only do we have to take care of the people who are here, but we have to prepare for that growth. And we aren't going to build more streets, so we don't have room for more people and more cars. So we have to find other way. Whereas the balance, somehow in accommodating everybody, we all have to get home, we all have to get along. Transportation is how we get there. It's just a means to an end. And that's what we're all working towards.
Well, thank you, and people like you for helping us to figure it out.
It's always interesting.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Thanks, Judy.